Let's make some sauerkraut. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sylvia and I'm a big city mom. I live, work and raise my family in New York City, and whenever I have some free time, which isn't very often, I blog and vlog about health through diet, lifestyle and nutrition. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I didn't want to take the conventional treatment because it would only manage my symptoms and never truly heal me. And so a few months ago, through diet, lifestyle and nutrition, I was able to reverse my autoimmunity. I was so blown away with the results and that it was actually possible after all these years of trials and errors that it finally pushed me to start my blog and this channel. So if you are on this journey yourself, you should definitely subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me take you to my kitchen. I have here 4 green cabbages. Make sure you have the usual green cabbage and not the Savoy. So Savoy is softer when you press on it and the leaves are less tightly packed. They have more air in between. You may be able to make sauerkraut. I've done it before, but it isn't ideal. It's not as crunchy when you make it from the Savoy cabbage. Then I have some carrots here. I will make some different variations of sauerkraut, and for some of it I will use carrots. I also have some fresh ginger and green apples. And to store it, I will use glass jars. Traditionally, you would use also a ceramic crockpot or wooden barrel. And when my grandma was making sauerkraut, we would have very small green apples. They were not naturally really sour, and the entire green apple would go into the barrel, and you would take it out after a few months, and it would taste just absolutely delicious, even though it wasn't as tasty when it wasn't fermented. And so to get a little bit of that flavor, I will use regular green apples. I will just shred them and mix them with cabbage. I will also use some salt, and I have here pink Himalayan salt, but you can use any salt you like. When you use salt with sauerkraut, it will make sure that your vegetables are crunchy, and also salt prevents unwanted bacteria from multiplying, so you will not develop the surface mold that sometimes happens if you don't salt your vegetables good enough. And also I have here caraway. So caraway is also optional. The great thing about caraway is that even when fermented, some people will still have some type of a gas reaction in their bellies, and caraway counteracts that. So I always add caraway to my cabbage, and also enhances the flavor. We'll start by shredding everything, and you have few options when it comes to shredding of your vegetables, depending how much you are making, but you can do it literally by knife. Just cut it into really small pieces, and if you have more, then you can definitely use the food processor, and I'll show you how I go about it as well. Next, I will take care of apples. You don't have to peel your apples. I will, because this one, I don't know if you can tell, but it has lots of wax on it, and I wasn't able to remove it by rinsing it. And then you can cut them up into smaller or bigger pieces, all up to you. Alright, so this is my food processor. This is the blade I will be using. Alright, so now we'll do the cabbage in my processor. So I cut it up into smaller pieces. You can probably buy bigger food processor. That's what I had handy, and that's for 4 jars is good enough. Get the biggest pot or bowl you have in your house to store all the cabbage. And repeat until all your cabbage is shredded. And while you are shredding other cabbages, you can start salting what you have already shredded, so the juices will start coming out. Also, save couple of leaves. You will use them to press down your shredded cabbage to make sure nothing stays above the juices. Now I will change the blade so that I can shred carrots, and I will use this one. So it makes my carrots really finely chopped, but that's how I want it. And I will do the same with the apples. Okay, and now lastly we will shred our ginger. You want to say hi, little helper? Przywitasz się?
Tak.
Okay, so this is all shredded. So this is all of our cabbage. That's our carrots, apples, and ginger. And so what you'll do now, you'll let it rest for about 1 hour. I don't know if you can see, but the moisture is already starts coming out. And what you also want to do to squeeze more enzymes, you kind of want to squeeze your cabbage and like press it really good. All right, so it's been about an hour that the cabbage and other vegetables are resting. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is nice and juicy. You can also get a starter culture. I have something that here that I preserved from my previous sauerkraut. You can definitely buy it in the store, and some of the starter cultures will have extra vitamin K2, extra strains to help build vitamin K2, and you let it all penetrate the cabbage. And we are ready to start packing our vegetables into the jars. So this is going to be our first batch. I will make the most traditional sauerkraut. So you basically start packing the cabbage into the jar. I will actually add some more caraway, and I will add some apple. Now what's really important that it has to be really packed tightly, so there aren't any air pockets. And if you can't achieve that by pressing the cabbage down with the juices that are already in the cabbage, add some filtered water. And this one is cabbage, carrots, and apples. And same thing, just really pack it tightly, make sure no air pockets. And it's best when you're packing it into the jar to do it from the get-go with every little layer that you add in, because it's much easier to press it down when you have less of it. And our last jar is cabbage, carrots, and ginger. This one's gonna be a spicy one, which I really love. And my little son actually likes them spicy as well. Sometimes when I want to entice him a little more to eat sauerkraut, I will make a variation of it where I will add a little bit of maple syrup on top of the sauerkraut. And it goes down every time. And there it is, 3 different types of sauerkraut. They will now spend about 7 to 10 days in the room temperature. I typically keep it in the cupboard on the paper towels, because there's always some enzymes, some juices that come out. All right, so it's been 4 days that my cabbage is fermenting. Let me show you what that looks like. So as you see, all the juices and enzymes are coming up to the surface. Sometimes it is so much that it will come out, so that's why I put it always on the paper towels. And it will take approximately not a couple days, probably 4 days. I make it more sour this time around, and sauerkraut will be ready. All right, so that's how easy it is to make sauerkraut at home. What's even more beneficial about it is that it has 100 times more of beneficial bacteria than the supplement probiotic. You keep it in the temperature 68 to 75 degrees for at least 7 days, but you can do it as long as 10 days. It all depends how sour you like it to be. And then you store your sauerkraut in the fridge. Lowering of the temperatures will stop the bacteria from multiplying. But if you want to keep it on the counter for a couple more days, you can. It will be just a little more sour. It all depends what you like. Now, if you are not used to eating sauerkraut, your body might not be used to that kind of bacteria in your gut, so you might want to start slow. Maybe start with a tablespoon and just see how your body behaves, and then gradually start increasing. I can have a full plate of sauerkraut and I'm okay with it. Although when I started a paleo-ketogenic diet, I put sauerkraut and all fermented vegetables on the side just so that I can follow the paleo-ketogenic protocol. These days I have sauerkraut from time to time and I really enjoy it. All right, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, like and share, comment, let me know how it went with your sauerkraut, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!